A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Am I audible? As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, AI Summit. When you see the word summit, one of the meanings, peak. Usually it goes with mountains. You have to think of words like summit, peak, zenith, pinnacle, apex. 5 words are there. All the words you have to think of. I'll repeat. Peak, pinnacle, zenith, apex, summit. Thanks for responding. Who are these? Shrikant and Sukesh. Thank you. Otherwise, AI Summit, Youth Congress protests over US trade deal. I have told you guys many a time. Don't try to learn something in isolation. Take a holistic approach and be a smart learner. That is opposite. Nadir, opposite of zenith. Nadir, nadir. Pronunciation, you got to be careful. And what are the words you are supposed to recollect based on the word protests? Protest, procession, slogans, placards, chaotic situation, and looting. Run helter skelter, all these words you have to think of. Coming to the next one, you can see dynamic economies. There's one important word here, dynamic. Dynamic means what? Active. Tussle, riot, spat, dispute. Who is this? Jamsum? Okay, very good, I appreciate. Cacophony. Good. But usually cacophony goes with music. You can use in other contexts as well. Someone who is very active, dynamic personality, we say. And imagine someone, a girl especially, very active, outgoing, dynamic, social. We use the idiomatic expression, live wire. She is a live wire. Have you heard of this any time? India, Brazil can't remain distant, Lula. They have to be together and they should go in for better understanding. Coming to the next one, a losing steam. Why losing steam? It goes with coal, I suppose. Based on that, that's also a good expression. Losing steam. When you see the word lose, L-O-S-E, verb. Lose, lost, lost. And lose shirt, tight shirt. L-O-S-E is a verb form. L-O-O-S-E is the adjective. And loss, profit loss, noun. All the three you have to recollect. They come under confusing words. Core sector growth slows to 4% in January. Core sector. If you go to the corporate world, every company has its own strength, actual strength. For that, they use the expression core competency. Have you heard of this any time? My core competency is teaching English for competitive exams. Core competency means actual skill you're good at, very good at. Coming to the next one, unkept promise. You promise someone, you don't do that. Unkept promise. What is unkept promise over here? In Maharashtra, a wait for 1,500. New e-verification norm, an important word, affects Ladki Bahin Yojana beneficiaries. Norm, standard, norms of the society, norms of the company, standards, values, ethics of a company. Affect, effect, we have got many a time. Wait, await, you should recollect that also. And affect, effect. Effect can be a verb, can be a noun. But generally we use it as a noun. Do remember it can be a verb. Affect, affected, affected. Super 8 begins. Santner's Kiwis take on Agha's Pakistan. It looks like Super 8, the matches, T20 World Cup, related to that. All simple words, nothing to learn as such. Coming to the main headline, what does it say? US Supreme Court rejects Trump tariffs. In the US, the Supreme Court rejects what? Donald Trump's tariffs. But what is the impact of that? We have to wait and watch. The ruling nullifies reciprocal tariffs Trump imposed utilizing an emergency powers law. There's an important word here, nullify. To make something null and void means what? To make something invalid. An important word, nullify, null and void, you have to recollect. And tariffs, reciprocal. I wish you, you wish me. That means we have reciprocated. Someone gives you a gift, you give back the gift, some other gift to him, reciprocate. And in English we have reciprocal pronouns, two in number. What are they? Each other, one another. Each other goes with two persons or two things. One another used for more than two. You have to recollect. Reciprocal tariffs, tariffs, impose, levy. All these words you have to think of. Impose means to force upon, utilizing an emergency powers law. Perhaps a blow to Donald Trump, but we have to wait and watch with the fingers crossed what could be the impact of that ruling by the Supreme Court of the US. Center notifies panel to clear CAA applications. All simple words. India observer at Board of Peace meet for Gaza. Someone has represented India. It's about that. Coming to the next one. Gujarat government to amend marriage registration rules. Related to marriage registration rules, again you have to think of related words. Bride, bridegroom, engagement, betrothal, nuptials, all these. Divorce, divorcee, divorcee also you can say. Those are the snippets. Let us go to the pick. Ramzan prayers, you can see Muslims praying. Muslims offer prayers on the first day of the holy month of Ramzan at the Jamia Masjid in Srinagar. Muslims around the world observe Ramzan by offering special night prayers and abstaining from food and drink between sunrise and sunset. Abstain, keep away, be away. Abstain means what? Not to have something, to withhold something. Abstain from drinks, not to drink. Coming to the other headlines, Supreme Court steps in, that means intervenes. Judicial officers will now join Bengal SIR process. This SIR has been in the limelight for quite some time, and I have done a few editorials as well. Coming to the other headline, India joins US-led tech alliance to build supply chains for electronics and critical minerals. Supply chains are very important, and when we talk about supply chains, you have to think of the word disruption. Disrupt means what? Interrupt. That's a good thing. New development. That's all from the front page of today's Hindu paper. Let us go to the editorial. Today I haven't brought the design PDF with vocab and all. I'll do the analysis showing the editorial, should not be a problem. Value addition will be the same. Presentation, you don't see separately the vocab and all, but value addition is the same. There's an important one. I've told you guys many a time, Indian Constitution. Around the world, if you look at the countries, we have different models. One model, center has all the powers. That is called unitary form of government. Another model, the states have all the powers. That is called federal form of government. But India is neither unitary nor federal. In between. So what is the expression? Yes, Vishnu, very good. Quasi-federal, not quasi. Quasi-federal. Partially unitary, partially federal. This editorial you may not get in the exam, but you have to develop contextual awareness and you have to learn the words. It's all about erosion of powers of the states. States, they have powers, but slowly the editorial opines the center is taking away all those powers, and Tamil Nadu government has appointed a particular committee, and it's all about what the committee has said. An important one that way. Let's see how it starts. Treatise, not treatise, treatise for federalism. Treatise means what? Part of speech noun. Usually we say treatise, not correct. Treatise. It means a formal piece of writing related to a particular subject. Treatise for federalism. This editorial is all about the powers of the states. That means it's about federalism. The Korean Joseph report must provoke a debate on reversing centralization. From this you should understand, slowly it is becoming more and more unitary form of government. Keeping that in mind, the main idea is it has to be reversed and the state should get their due powers, whatever they deserve. But what is there to learn from English proficiency point of view? The Korean Joseph report must already we have got many a time. It has two functions. What is the first one? It is used to express an obligation imposed by a writer or a speaker. Here writer means the editorial. Second meaning, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. Must provoke. Provoke usually goes with everyday English. Don't provoke him, don't provoke them. I'm rather surprised it has been used in the editorial, but I usually give two words which are rather formal. One is incite. What is the spelling of incite? I-N-C-I-T-E. The other word is instigate. Provoke, incite, instigate all mean the same. But incite and instigate, formal words. Provoke goes with the formal context, both formal and informal. And we have another insight. What is the spelling of that? I-N-S-I-G-H-T. Insight, that's a positive word. It means provide deep understanding, insight into the subject, deep understanding into the subject. Provoke a debate. Here provoke means initiate in a way. Trigger, instigate a debate on what? Reversing centralization. Already the writer has taken a stand. It is going in the direction of unitary form of government, and based on that stand, the writer says we have to reverse that particular trend. What is the trend? Centralization trend. How does it start? A high-level committee, an important word, got to be careful with the spelling. M-T-T-E. And grammar point of view, it is what? A collective noun. And the two rules you have to recollect. Collective nouns usually take a singular verb, a singular pronoun. However, if the sentence denotes a division, the same collective noun takes a plural verb, a plural pronoun. That has to be recollected quickly. A high-level committee on union-state relations appointed by the government of Tamil Nadu has mapped the pattern of centralization of power and the weakening of federal democracy in India over the decades and suggested comprehensive corrective measures. Lengthy sentence, but simply what does it say? A committee has been appointed by the Tamil Nadu state government, and the committee has studied how over a period of time, the powers have gone to the center, the powers from the states have been taken away by the center, and the committee has also suggested some corrective measures or remedies. A high-level committee on union-state relations appointed by the government of Tamil Nadu has mapped, present perfect active voice, the pattern of centralization of power and the weakening. When you see the word weakening, you have to think of what? Undermining. Undermine means what? Weaken. Of federal democracy in India over the decades, not years, decades, suggested comprehensive corrective measures. There is one important word I have given many a time. Tell me what are the synonyms of comprehensive. Comprehensive means taking all the dimensions into consideration. And what are the synonyms? Comprehensive, holistic, exhaustive. Exhausted, tired, that's a different word. Here exhaustive. And these words go with syllabus, policies, procedures. holistic syllabus, comprehensive syllabus, exhaustive procedure. Corrective measures, obviously, it has to do that. The three-member committee. In this committee, how many members? Three members. Three-member committee. Here we have the noun committee. In the exam, they may give the same phrase, a three-members committee. Then it is wrong. We cannot use the adjective in the plural form. What is the correct phrase here? The three-member committee, chaired by a former Supreme Court judge, Justice Kurian Joseph, has drawn on, again present perfect active voice, draw something means depend on something, collect information from some source, drawn on scholarship across. Scholarship has many meanings. You all know the typical meaning of scholarship. Students get scholarships based on their background or the studies. And when it comes to this scholarship in this context, it means what? It means scholar means a learned person. What are the other words for scholar? Usually I give words like, expressions like man of letters, scholar, intellectual, genius, polymath, highbrow, and savant, a new word we have got in the mock today. Scholarship means intellectual sources across various disciplines. Constituent Assembly debates and the findings of three other committees on center-state relations, while also critiquing. Critique means publicly criticize someone objectively, not subjectively. Recent governance trends, criticizing recent governance trends that weaken or undermine the authority of states. The committee has drawn from the intellectual sources across various fields, and based on that it must have submitted the report. What is the conclusion? It concludes that centralization is increasing. That is a problem, according to the editorial. Centralization is increasing means federalism is becoming weak, which notes is not healthy, and calls for. What is the meaning of the phrasal verb call for? Demand for. The situation calls for means what? The situation demands for something. Urgent remedial measures, obviously. The report is an expansive critique. Expensive deals with money matters. Expansive, very wide, huge in scope, wide in scope. Expansive critique, criticizing someone or something objectively, publicly, of the dilapidation of federalism. This is an important word. But usually it goes with buildings. Imagine there's a building almost 30 years, 40 years over. Then you see the building, it doesn't seem to be in good shape. Anytime walls, the outer layer may come off, and then we use dilapidated buildings. It goes usually with buildings. But in this context, what does it mean? Not very strong. The report is an expansive critique of the dilapidation of federalism, means making federalism weak, threatening India's progress, and calls for changes to reverse the dangerous course. The main headline also, the main idea, reversing the centralization process. The main idea is being reiterated. Calls for changes to reverse the dangerous course, stating that Indian federalism now requires a structural reset comparable in ambition to the economic reforms of 1991. This generation, how many of you know? I don't know. But 1991 we had liberalization, economic reforms on a large scale. Because of that, MNCs, globalization, all these things came into picture. Now the writer says, the editorial opines, to that scale and similar to that, we should have reforms when it comes to center-state relations. Stating that Indian federalism now requires a structural reset. When you see the word structure, system, and systemic, that's an important word you have to think of. Systemic changes. comparable in ambition to the economic reforms of 1991. You all know the word ambition. You're all ambitious youth to have a lofty goal or dream, and you work very hard towards to achieve that particular goal. We use this expression. India's constitutional framework took shape against the backdrop of an important phrase. You can also say here against the backdrop of partition and the consolidation of princely states. Many princely states joined together, consolidated, then we got this. This is a backdrop information. The context encouraged the founders to tilt towards a centralizing constitutional scheme. That time the context was centralization was required. That time itself they did not completely go in for federalism. Based on that particular time and the situation that time, they thought center should have some powers, state should have some powers. But the tilt was more towards centralization, the center. The context encouraged the founders to tilt, move in the direction of, or show inclination towards a centralizing constitution, centralizing constitutional scheme, legislative, administrative and judicial measures in the ensuing decades following. What is the meaning of that? An important word. Following decades further reinforced this line of thinking. What is the other word that has to pop up immediately? FARTHER, farther. That talks about the distance. Further, in addition to. And reinforce means what? To strengthen. This line of thinking. What is this line of thinking? More powers to the center. Slowly they tilted in that direction and it has got consolidated in a way. The report convincingly takes down the arguments for centralization. Take down in this context means what? Whatever arguments towards centralization they did not consider, they kept them aside. Takes down the arguments for centralization and argues that federalized governance is essential for a country of India's size and diversity, and that it would in fact be dangerous to overlook this imperative. Some people must have said, no, we should go for centralization, but the committee deferred, did not accept that, and it also opined for a country like India, huge in size and known for diversity, federalism should be there. Argues that, what does it stand? Federalized governance is essential, indispensable for a country of India's size and diversity, and that it would in fact be dangerous to overlook this imperative. There's some imperative, something important, vital or crucial. What does the second part say? The Korean Joseph Committee report comes amid. You all know amid, amidst. What is the difference? Spelling wise difference. Both mean the same. What is the meaning? In the middle of. Repeated and deliberate moves by the union to centralize power. The report comes against a particular backdrop. What is it? Repeated and deliberate, intentional, open moves by the center to centralize power, by the union to centralize power. The constitution can be amended far too easily for a federal polity, and this creates a self-perpetuating cycle of centralization. Perpetuate, continue. Self-perpetuating means the center keeps on doing the same thing. In that process, centralization becomes more obvious or conspicuous. This is the opinion of the editorial. Do remember. The constitution can be amended far too easily for a federal polity, and this creates a problem. What is that? A self-perpetuating cycle of centralization. The territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial integrity of states is at the mercy of the center. Territorial at the mercy of someone, at the mercy of something. Means to be at the receiving end, at the mercy of the center, most blatantly illustrated by the dismantling of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories in 2019. Most blatantly illustrated, blatant, open. One more meaning, open, deliberate, shameless, and illustrated, demonstrated. The writer wants to give us an example. To provide that example to substantiate the previous statement, he gives the example of Jammu and Kashmir. The misplaced idea that the country needs one national language is being pursued by the union government. All these, please do remember, whatever I say based on the editorial, purely objective, nothing subjective here. It is the opinion of the editorial of the writer. The misplaced idea that the country needs one national language is being pursued by the union government, which is particularly assertive on the question. Assertive, we have got many a time. Assertive means what? Be firm, which is particularly assertive on the question. Governors have become instruments of the center's overreach in all areas of governance. Today, all this because of the tussle or the bone of contention, apple of discord, between the center and the state, especially when it comes to the role of governors. And to be very frank, I've done a few editorials related to Tamil Nadu state, very specifically. Governors have become instruments of the center's overreach in all areas of governance. The impending interstate delimitation of Lok Sabha constituencies is causing anxiety among states that have stabilized their populations and stand to lose their relative weight in the national governance. One more problem here, one problem with the governors, second problem, interstate delimitation. And there's one important word here. Impending. What does it mean? Impending means likely to happen. In a way, certain to happen. And the word you have to think of, inevitable, unavoidable, likely to happen. Generally, we use impending war, impending floods, means may happen sooner or later. This is also a cause of worry. The impending interstate delimitation of Lok Sabha constituencies is causing anxiety among states that have stabilized their populations and they stand to lose their relative weight in national governance. The union has overt power in. There are two words you have to think of. One is overt. What is the other word? Covert. Means secretive, not open. The union has overt power in the conduct of elections. Obviously, when it comes to conducting elections, the union has the power. Everyone knows that. And key sectors such as education and health are being increasingly centralized. Two sectors. One, elections are with the center. Two more sectors, education and public health, are being increasingly centralized. All these are to substantiate the statement that things are going in the direction of, in favor of centralization, and the writer wants to substantiate or justify by providing all these examples. The GST regime has two meanings. One, current regime means the government in power. Regime also means a system, tax system, you can say tax regime. The GST regime has restructured India's fiscal landscape in favor of the union and at state's expense. This is again the writer's opinion. This GST regime, the writer opines, it is in favor of the center at the expense of states. Means states had to lose, center has gained at the expense of states. How does the editorial end? This report lays out, very important phrasal verb, lay out, spread, make open, tell about something. This report lays out the logic, facts and common sense about why federated governance should be the path to progress. Should be the path to progress. Should is used to advise or suggest. This report must form the basis for a new national conversation. A writer's opinion again must. It must form the basis for a new national debate or national conversation regarding what? Center-state relations. That's all about today's editorial. An important one from understanding point of view, comprehension point of view, contextual awareness point of view, and so many words we have got many a time. Some important words are there. Do spend some time. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Again on Monday, because Sunday the Hindu does not publish the editorials. Only on Monday you will get a new editorial with a regular format. Thank you very much.